Welcome. Do you want to learn the study secrets of rank holders? The problem with us is that no one has taught us how to study. This is the problem with me, and this is the problem with you. And it took me many years to learn how to study smart. So, if you watch this video till then, I promise you, you will learn how to study smart for your UGC NET exam and for your assistant professor exam. Before that, I want to thank you for being here with me and learning from me. And if you don't know me, you're for the first time, my name is Pradeep Hariharan. I am an assistant professor of English. If you already know me, thank you very much for your support and your love. So this video, I have divided into 5 parts and I will explore one by one. In the first part, we are going to discuss about how do we study. What are the methods we use to study? There are 3 methods I have learned that we use to study. The first one is known as going through the material again and again. It is known as rote memorization. This is good for kindergarten level because when we were young, we have been told to repeat again and again. And do you know, I use this for my MA. That is preparing a summary, going through again and again, by hearting it. But I learned it's a very bad method at the higher level. And second thing we do is to get a highlighter and highlight the entire books. We turn the book into a yellow color. And when we do this, when we read for the first time, and the second time we go back to the highlighted area and we think that we learned. It is just like a person you met, you know him, but you don't know the name. Same way, we only recognize it, but we don't recollect it. By studying that way, when you go for the exam, we forget most of the things. And the third one is summarizing. Summarizing is a good method if you know how to summarize it well. Before I jump in, I want to thank a person who is known as Marty Lobdell, who published a video on YouTube in 2011, Study Less, Study Smart, which has been watched by 19 million students so far. Actually, I'm summarizing it along with some of the things I have learned. So at the end of the video, I recommend, if you are interested, to go and watch his 1-hour lecture. That will be phenomenally beneficial for you. And second thing is that what are the habits we have to develop? If you want to study well, if you want to get into a top job, remember, when I qualified NET in 2005, I wrote it more than 3 times. It's a secret, don't tell anyone. Then what happened was, I thought I'm going to get the job. But when I walked into an interview, I found 30 other students. There were rank holders. There were students with JRF. Then in 2008, I walked into another college. I found 70 students. And remember, in 2014, when one of my friends came for an interview, there was 200 students with PhD, MPhil, NET, JRF. So that is the kind of competition that you're going to face. When you write the exam for the assistant professor last time, there were 4,500 candidates. When you write, that will be around 7,500 to 8,000. So you must have the best study habits to succeed. And what are the habits we have to develop? According to Marty, we have to develop 5 things. First thing is that we have to take sufficient study breaks. Actually, if you look at studies, it says that we can only focus for maximum 25 minutes. So Marty says every 25 minutes we have to break. You have to get up and do something for 5 minutes that we like. Then come back again. If we can study that for consistently, our productivity will be very good. And second thing is that after you study for 20 minutes, just reward yourself. If you like to listen to a song, or if you want to talk to somebody, do something that you like, then reward, then go back and study. And third thing, he says that make a dedicated area. For example, most of us study in our bedroom. It happens with me too. So when we study for some time, we feel like, okay, let's lie down and read. After some time, we would have slept and wake up. So he says that put an area that is dedicated for study. It has worked for me. It will work for you too. And third, study in groups. This is a very powerful method. If somebody also wants to study, form a group and study. It hasn't worked for me, so I won't push you. If you feel like it works for you, sometimes it doesn't work. And finally, sleep for 8 hours and sleep on proper time. Some people think that I am an owl. I can study for 2 to 3 in the morning. Then I sleep till 10. I'm getting 7 hours. That's a very wrong way, dears. You have to sleep around 10 and wake up at 5 or 6. Make sure that you sleep to 7 to 7 and 8 or 8 hours. Otherwise, whatever you learn, you will forget. And third thing, he says how to study. This is very important. He says that before we study something, we have to ask ourselves, are we studying a fact or are we studying a concept? For example, he gives the example, Sigmund Freud is a father of psychoanalysis, is a fact. And psychoanalysis, the studying, it's a concept. What is psychoanalysis is? So if you're studying a concept, we have to spend more time. And once you learned it, that will stay with us for rest of the life. And remember, facts, we get confused. So he says that in order to learn facts, we have to use mnemonics. That is how we remember the facts. And the acronyms and coin sayings interactive, that is mnemonics. And while taking notes, he says that whenever you watch, for example, you're watching my video, you are listening to me very attentively. Are you taking notes? I know you are taking notes, but don't take lengthy notes. Just take short notes. And after the video, whatever you watch is over, stop it, look at the notes, try to recollect and fill the gap. And after that, look upwards and try to think what you have learned. Active remembering is like whenever we study something, we should be able to put it in our own words. That is, and also you can actively recite this. For example, tell it to your family members. Sometimes they don't like it. Even teach it to a chair. So in that way, we will remember it. So he says how we have to study, take notes, and what do we mean by study? When we can record it. So just look upwards and think whether I can remember it. If you cannot do that, just go back and study. And next thing, he speaks about how to study a book. He says that a textbook is meant for pedagogy, that is for teaching. So when we are studying, first we have to survey it. You must have heard about SQ3R. Surveying it means look at the textbook, look at the pictures and ask questions. And in the next time you read, look for the questions, take down notes, and finally take a review. Just imagine if you are reading a newspaper, if you are just reading it, you forget everything. But if you are looking for a specific information, you will easily find it. Similarly, when we read a text, we have to look for specific information. This is very important for a competitive exam like UGC net or assistant professor, where you have to remember a lot of facts. Okay, and finally, at the end, I want to thank you for watching. And if you are interested, I recommend you watch Marty Lobel's Study Less, Study Smart video. I hope you will implement these systems next time when you study, or start implementing today onwards. It will phenomenally improve you. And one day you'll become an assistant professor. So I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Until then,